Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. And today, I'll be reading A Cat Six Reader by Bana E Writings on Tumblr. So let's get into it. Chances are for this guy to even notice you, your quirk would have to be something pretty strong. Not only that, but something that could potentially stand up to him, and that you have before. There's simply no other way for him to even respect you. Energy absorption, much like Fat Gum's quirk. But you could not store the power, only directing it right away. Yeah, you were strong, but you had no backbone or will to fight. And as much as Katsuki would try and push you to be more so confident in yourself, it never seemed to work. So your parents, not wanting to lose out on having a child that would be a great hero, they sent you away to build your confidence, as they had said. He often thought about you, about the way you would scold him, whenever he saw the way he would treat others. But he was so angry. Angry at Deku for his quirk. Angry at everyone else for expecting too much and too little of him. But most of all, he was angry at the world for taking you away. He could never be angry at you though. You would never have left him if you could help it. And without you there to curb his temper, it was left to run wild. And so, Katsuki would rage at everyone around him. Then, during second year, he heard they were getting an exchange student, and he had to admit that his interest was quite piqued. To transfer during second year into class 2A, especially at 2A, they had to be especially strong. Unfortunately, he had a doctor appointment to make sure his new ear mufflers were working, so he showed up late to class. He found them all gathered out on the training field, a match currently taking place, while his classmates cheered around him. Pushing to the front, he took in the scene before him, and to his surprise, Kirishio's currently looked in battle with what he assumed was a new exchange student, and neither of them seemed to be making much progress on the other. Both were sweating and panting hard, trying to keep up with the onslaught of attacks from both sides. But as he watched, he felt a tingle in the back of his mind, like an Etsu deja vu. And then, just then, did it hit him. The way you would bounce on your legs like a boxer when you would draw back. It was the same way he had taught you to move all these years ago, when he was trying to get you to stand up for yourself. And just then, he realized it all. Lion, Bakugou, and this guy? Well, he was pretty much stuck to your side from that point on. There was no getting him away from you. Like he thinks you'll leave for another 6 years. It fell out of his sight for a second. Not that you could blame him. It all happened too suddenly. And Katsuki felt guilty, even if it was not his fault. It never was. But sometimes, he would think that maybe if he helped you for a bit, things could have changed. And with the strain between you and your parents, ever since they practically forced you to become a hero, there are many fights on the weekly in your house. No need to worry though, because just show up and there's always a room waiting for you at Katsuki's. His mom is constantly teasing him about it, much to the blonde's annoyance. But he's relieved that you have not changed much from when you were kids. One of the only things that has yet remained constant in his life. Well, except for the fact that you could probably not take him blow for blow in the fight. Speaking of fighting, there has got a practice partner. With you and Kirishima, being the only ones able to withstand his explosion power hits. You're the only person he calls by name, and does not treat you like some sort of extra. And it's quite a sight to see for everyone in Class 1A. You may have more confidence, but that does not mean that you've grown much of a backbone since you've been away. There was a group of general students who thought that, hey, it would be extremely fun and hilarious to pick on the shy hero course transfer, and for a while, they got away with that. You were not that much of a troublemaker, and you thought that you would be bringing them trouble by telling on them, getting them punished, or perhaps even getting them expelled. And you did not want to ruin their future like that. So you kept much of the incidents to yourself, even if it resulted in you crying in your dorm room by the time you were back. It was a lot. And you didn't want to tell anyone, especially Katsuki, since not only would he end up worrying about you too much, but it would feel like the whole purpose of your journey and going away from everyone was not fulfilled. Like all of this was fruitless effort, and you didn't want him to think that you were a coward again. That is, until Katsuki found out. After all, the two of you are in the same school, so it was quite hard to hide something like this, especially when you made it so obvious from the way you were acting recently. Katsuki just knew that something was up. He could read you like no one else. And after he saw this, having walked upon a scene of them throwing your belongings around the halls, as you tried to get everything back up, well, it's safe to say that the recovery girl had her hands full that afternoon, and Katsuki was in charge of after-school cleanup for the rest of the month. He's like a begrudgingly protective older brother who acts like a tsundere while kicking your ass for not taking care of your house. But hey, at least he's here right now, and he would make sure that you were taking good care of yourself. It was his duty after all, and you had to do it right this time. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. I hope you enjoyed listening to this as much as I did making it. Anyway, goodbye.